Hi, good morning. I'm Adam Landine and CEO of Filo Mining. It's good to be back at the one-to-one conference. I'll just jump right into it. Here's a quick snapshot of my company profile. We own 100% of the Filo del Sol project. It straddles the border of Chile and Argentina. We have 73 million shares outstanding. Our current market cap is around 200 million Canadian. You'll see on the bottom left corner our share ownership. The biggest change there is that my family's ownership has gone from 20% to 31% over the last 12 months. We still view the stock as cheap, and we're happy to keep increasing our position. Also, it's good to point out that we're listed in Canada and Sweden. And the Canadian markets are closed today, but Sweden's open, and we just put out some great drill results, which I'll highlight in the coming slides. As you see here on this map on the right-hand side, it really speaks volumes to me. You'll see on the Chilean side of things, all those little X's are producing mines in Chile. And so there's a great infrastructure buildup in Chile, but also with producing mines, they require a lot of power and a lot of water. And so the aquifers in Chile are being sucked dry. So in order to get a mine going in Chile, you have to build a desalination plant on the coast and pump your water to your project. These desal plants go for around $1 billion. With my project being 90% in Argentina and the limited amount of mines in Argentina, you're still allowed to pull groundwater from Argentina. So that's a huge benefit to my project and definitely brings down the cost. I've proved my water source this year, and things are going well. Here is Filo del Sol. Top left corner of the slide, you have the Pacific Ocean. Bottom right, you're going more into Argentina. The border of Chile and Argentina is defined by the watershed of the Andes, and I'm right on the border. To the left side is the 10% of the resource sitting in Chile, and then you have this ridge. It's good topography that slopes down, is where 90% of the resource is, and it really slopes out, and that's where we'll be putting our heap leach pads on the flat area of the picture. Here's our overall indicated resource. It's quite a big resource, 3.1 billion pounds of copper, 4.5 million ounces of gold, and just shy of 150 million ounces of silver. What's unique about Filo is that all our metals are leachable. And so when you think about funding a capex of $1.3 billion, I'm going to cut a stream on the gold and silver. I think I can fund at least half my capex in order to get into production. Also, what's unique is the revenue split. It's about 50-50 precious metals, base metals. Here's a quick snapshot of the Pre-Feasibility Study I released in January of this year. Again, you have the NPV of $1.28 billion, a healthy IRR of 23%, quick payback period of 3.4 years. Our base metal price, our commodity prices we used were $3 copper, $1,300 gold, $20 silver, probably a little rich on the silver side. Should bring that down in the bankable feasibility study. And you see our initial capex of 1.27. This was a big change from our preliminary economic assessment. In our PEA, we had an NPV of $805 million and a capex of $850 million. The big change here is we changed the throughput. Our throughput went from 50,000 tons per day to 60,000 tons per day, and that really drove the economics, the increase in NPV and capex. Also, what's unique, again, which I'm highlighting, is the recoveries of all our metals. You have 80% on the copper side, 70% gold, and 82% silver. This is great recoveries for a heap leach project. And also, our 14-year mine life. I think if you're going to be spending $1.3 billion, you probably want to have a bit bigger of a mine life. So this year, we went ahead and said, okay, let's do some further exploration and see if we can increase this resource. Here's our overall resource. If you think about Filo, you can think of it in a layer cake. We have a gold oxide zone, a copper gold zone, and a silver zone. And then we get into our sulfides. The sulfides weren't included in our pre-feasibility study. This is what's made it into the reserves. I'm just going to fast forward here because I want to get into my new stuff. Okay, so what's exciting, and this is really what Filo's all about now, is if you look here, you see this black line, that's our open pit. The red line is our resource. Everything above our open pit is our reserves. You have our transition zone, and then you get into sulfides. And so, 14-year mine life, just focused on the oxides. Haven't done any met work on the transition zone. There's 150 million tons there. If any of that stuff leaches, we can quickly incorporate that into the pre-feasibility study and extend our 14-year mine life to hopefully 20. But what we did is we always had a theory that there's a porphyry sitting underneath our oxide deposit. And so we said, okay, let's go ahead and prove that theory. If that's there, we can really blow open our resource. Our overall resource is 600 million tons. And so what we did, this is our first hole, hole 25, the blue line, and we drilled 1,000 meters. Before that, our deepest hole was 450 meters. This 1,000-meter hole, completely outside the resource, was mineralized all the way. The grade doesn't really blow your socks off. I think it's about 0.3% copper, 0.2 grams a ton gold. We had a good component in there of 130 meters of 0.5% copper. But we did 7 holes. Average spacing was 500 meters. I just put out the second hole, or the second set of holes. I did 25, 26, and I did 27, 28 today. And it's really exciting. So overall, we hit, sorry, it's still fresh in my head, 563 meters of about 0.4% copper, 0.8 grams a ton gold, and we had a good section there, about 120 meters of 1% copper equivalent. And so we're really starting to open it up. What's a shame about this hole is our target depth was 1,000 meters, but we only got down to that 568. And so, and our copper grade kept increasing at depth. So we think we're getting into a high-grade center of the porphyry. We'll probably come back next season and push this down to the 1,000 meters to see what we get. But now you're talking about, again, in our red resource, 600 million tons. You're going down to 1,000 meters. You have average spacing of 500 meters. You're talking about a strike length of 2 kilometers, and you're going to a depth of 1,000 meters. You're really going to blow open the resource. It's definitely going to change our project, and it's going to get a lot of attention. What's exciting is focusing on the oxides, 14-year mine life, that's only half your resource incorporated in that. Now you start proving up what's below, drill out your porphyry a little more. I think, we're going to be well above, we'll be in the billions of tons of resource. And so we're going to go out and continue to do that. I got 3 holes left that I have to put out. I'll probably do a resource update in August, and we're defining the drill program we want to do this year. And once that's out, I'll go and raise equity to get that done. Our drill season runs November to April during the South American summer. Here's our layout of the holes we drilled. It's going to be hard to see from the screen, but I guess what you should take away from this is the scale and the size. So the average spacing between those holes is 500 meters. From the southernmost hole to the northernmost hole is about 2.2 kilometers. And so far, every hole, we've demonstrated that we're intercepting porphyry at depth. The next 3 holes should continue to get bigger. So drilling's complete. 4 out of 7 holes released, 3 more to go. We'll probably do a news release proving our water source that we drilled off this year in Argentina. We'll do a little more, what else are we going to do? We'll do some met test work on that transition zone, see if we can increase the mine life of the oxide component. And resource update August, define the program, and keep drilling away and keep increasing the resource like we've done every year for the last 4 years. Happy to answer any questions.
Has there been any met work done so far?
Yeah, we did 3.5 tons of met work last year. And so I think the big thing, especially when you're doing a leach project, is making sure you're not going to have any hiccups when this stuff goes on the pad and you're starting to produce. So metallurgical test work is a big component of what we do. I think to date we've done over 7 tons of met work.
But not on the sulfide?
Not on the sulfide, just focus on the oxide so far. Thanks very much.